Hello, good day from wherever you are watching us this evening. Good day, and you're welcome. You're welcome to our weekly webinar. You're welcome to our wonderful platform. And my name is Choma Odikulu. So say hello, say hi, let's know where you are watching us from. Just let us know you are here with us. So you're all welcome. You're welcome to the Renewed Parents Academy, where transformation begins and growth never ends. I am just a guide. I am a cultivator of potentials. I am here to help you rise above the challenges of parenting and create a legacy of love, strength, and wisdom. In this academy, you will discover what it means to parent with purpose, clarity, and confidence. Together, we will plant the seeds of renewal and watch as we flourish as parents. Watch our children as well flourish to become leaders because we are nurturers. We'll watch ourselves and our children to become first-class citizens in the world. I bring you the message of transformation. When I speak, I deliver solutions that awaken your mind, that uplift your spirit and empower your actions. This is your moment, parents, to embrace growth, redefine your parenting journey, and take the next steps towards becoming the empowered parent you were always meant to be. You're welcome to our weekly webinar today, and today we'll be discussing about measuring progress. Yes, as parents, it's very important for us to stop, to pause, and measure our progress, to measure how far we've gone, what we are doing, where we are, and what we need to do. So, what is the meaning of measuring progress? Now, measuring progress means intentionally tracking and reflecting on the steps you have taken as a parent towards achieving your goals. So when you intentionally track, when you intentionally reflect on the steps you take on a daily basis as a parent towards achieving your goal, that can be referred to as you measuring your progress. When you intentionally reflect on you becoming the parent you aspire to be, when you intentionally reparent yourself, when you intentionally go on this journey of growth, on this journey of renewal, when you intentionally sit down and reflect what you've been doing as a parent, that can be referred to as we measuring our progress. Now, measuring our progress is about recognizing both small and significant improvements over time, understanding where we stand as parents in relation to our goals, and using our awareness to make adjustments and celebrate our milestones. Now, it is very important for us as parents to measure our progress, because when we measure our progress, we'll be able to know what we need to do, how we need to move from point A to point B to help us achieve our goals. Now, when we measure our progress is not about perfection. Progress is not about you seeing the end result. But in this case, we're talking about progress that refers to the journey of growth. Progress that refers to self-awareness and the impact you are creating, the impact I am creating in my family and in your family. Now, we're going to talk about the emotional importance of measuring progress. Why do we need to sit down and pause to measure our progress? Why do we need to reflect on our progress as parents? Why do we need to reflect on our goals as parents? Why do we need to sit down and think of what we need to do to get to the point we need to get to? Now, what are the emotional importance? So I'm going to tell us a little story. So as a parent, sometimes imagine you are feeling stuck. Imagine believing that all your efforts are in vain until you look back and see the small victories you've been achieving all along. Sometimes as parents we feel stuck, sometimes we feel we're doing a lot, but imagine just reflecting. Imagine you just sitting down, taking a minute or two and looking back to the victories you've achieved as a parent. Now, we must all remember as parents that progress is not always loud. Progress is in the quiet moments where growth takes roots. So progress is in the quiet moments, those moments we overlook, those little and baby steps we make on a daily basis. That is where our progress, our process is. And that is where we as parents should be focused on. We should be focused on the process and not just the end. Another emotional benefit of measuring our progress is that it emphasizes hope. Measuring progress allows us as parents to realize that we are not stagnant. So when we sit down to reflect, when we sit down and pause and check how far have I gone, it creates this sense within us that, okay, I'm not stagnant. I'm actually doing something. I'm moving. Where I am today was not where I was yesterday. It makes us to see that, okay, we are moving from point A to point B. Now, as parents, we must realize that every step forward, no matter how that step is, no matter if it's a small step, it's a step forward towards the future we dream for our families. So the goal here, the message here is to keep moving. The message here is to keep making progress. No matter how small you might think your progress is, just don't remain stagnant. Another emotional benefit or importance of we measuring our progress is to connect emotionally. Where we measure our progress as parents, it helps us to connect emotionally, first of all with ourselves, because we have the time to sit down with ourselves and reflect on our journey. It also helps us to connect with our children. Now, when we as parents track our progress, when we track our growth, it helps us to feel empowered because we know we are making a difference. So when we sit down and track our goals, when we sit down and check, okay, how have I made progress so far? It creates this sense of, okay, I'm making a difference. I'm doing something. So that is why it is important for us as parents to measure our progress. Now, why is measuring our progress matter? Why does it even matter? Why do I need to measure my progress in parenting? Number one is emotional resonance. As parents, most times we can often feel like we are running a race with no finish line. Most times, a good number of us feel that way. We feel like we are pouring our hearts into our children. But we feel sometimes like, okay, I'm not doing enough. But when we sit down to measure our progress, it gives us clarity. When we sit down to measure our progress, it gives us the sense of, okay, I am actually doing something. It's like a mirror reflecting how far we've come. When you sit down and reflect, when you sit down and think of, okay, the effort you've made, the journey, how you've moved from point A to point B, it's like a mirror reflecting how far you have come. So even when your journey feels overwhelming, even when your journey feels difficult, even when you feel your journey feels challenging, it gives you this sense of, okay, I'm coming from this point. I am not where I used to be. I am somewhere. I am here now. And I know tomorrow I'm going to I'm going to be where I want to be, depending on my goal. So that is why it is important for us to measure our progress. Another benefit why we need to measure our progress is because when we measure our progress, it helps us as parents to stay focused on our goals. When we measure our progress, we are focused on our goals and on our personal goals, our family goals, our parenting goals, our health goals, all the goals we have. When we measure our progress, it creates the sense of, okay, I need to be focused. Because when you sit down and reflect and you find out that, okay, you've not really done enough, you've not put in a lot of effort, it makes you to re-strategize on what you need to do, the things you need to start to do so you can achieve your goal. So we need to measure our progress. We need to sit down, pause, reflect, because it helps us to be focused on our goal. Another benefit why we need to measure our progress as parents, it gives us a sense of accomplishments that fuels our motivation. When we measure our progress, we feel accomplished. When we measure our progress, we feel a sense of motivation. When we measure our progress as parents, we feel like, okay, I'm contributing. I am actually doing something. It even makes us to be more grateful. Yes. Another benefit why we need to measure our progress is because it highlights what is working. When we sit down and reflect, we can now note what is working for us, the strategies that are working, the structures that are working, the things that are working in our life, in our parenting, and it also helps us to know what is not working. You cannot know what is not working except you sit down and reflect. So when we sit down, pause and reflect, it helps us to know what is working for us in our parenting and what is not working. And when we know what is not working, we are able to adjust our strategies as parents. We are able to re-strategize. We are able to come up with a better approach to address what is not working in our parenting. Now, emotional techniques for measuring progress. How can we measure our progress? We've been talking about measuring progress, and measuring progress. So how can we as parents measure our progress? Number one, we must learn to celebrate our small wins. Every small step we make matters. Every small step we make towards our growth matters. Every small step our children make towards their goals matters. So we must learn to celebrate our small wins. For example, if you spend quality time with your child, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 30 minutes, it's 1 hour, provided you spend quality time, undivided attention with your child, it's something worth celebrating. It's a small win. For example, also, if you were calm as a parent, if you were able to regulate your emotions properly, it's something worth celebrating. So we must devise means as parents. We must intentionally catch ourselves in those small wins that we might tend to neglect, in those small wins that we might tend to walk past and look past. We must intentionally catch ourselves and learn to celebrate our small wins. No matter how small you think it is, we must learn to celebrate it, because when we celebrate our small wins, there's something it does to us. Also, we must also as parents learn to journal our moments. Learn to journal your thoughts. Learn to journal the moments you spend with yourself, with your children. Because when we journal as parents, it creates a ripple effect of gratitude and hope. So another way we can measure our progress is by journaling our process, our thoughts, journaling our challenges. Because when we journal our challenges, we can see ourselves better, and we can now know, okay, what next? What are the steps? What are the strategies I need to implement, or I need to work on, what I need to work on to, to help me move from my place of weakness to a place of strength. Also, as parents, we must focus on our journey. We must focus on the process, not perfection. As parents, most times it's very quick, or we're very quick, or it's very easy for us to focus on being perfect. You want your child to be perfect. We want ourselves to be perfect. Most times we are angry when we make mistakes. Most times as parents, we don't even extend grace to ourselves. But it is very important for us to learn to focus on our process. Our processes are all different. Someone's process might not be exactly the same as yours. So we must learn to be focused. Focus on our process, not just perfection. We must remember that parenting is not about perfection. Parenting is not about perfection. It's about the process. It's about the effort. It's about the willingness to grow. It's about the willingness to be better for ourselves, for our children, and for the world at large. We must always remember that. Even on the days when we fail as parents, we must always remember that even amidst our failure, growth is taking place. Because when we fail and we recognize that we are failing, it's a win. Because some people are failing and they don't even recognize that they are failing. So when we fail as parents, and we recognize, we come to terms that, okay, I made a mistake. We should even be happy because it's actually growth in itself. So we must learn to appreciate our process. We must learn to appreciate the steps we make on a daily basis. It is very important. So you're listening to me, you're hearing me. Can you drop in the comment section? Can you share with us one thing that has improved, you know, in your parenting, in your parenting journey for the past month? Can you celebrate just one step, just one small win? Can you just type what you've seen, okay, that you've worked on that has helped you? Maybe it could be ability to manage your emotions, ability to spend time with your children. Maybe it could be your reading has improved. Can you just drop it in the comment section? Let us see. Celebrate your small wins. We must learn to celebrate our small wins. Now, as parents, we must always remember that growth isn't always about numbers. Yes, growth isn't always about numbers. Sometimes it's the deepened bond we feel with ourselves, the bond we feel with our children. Sometimes growth could be the moments of laughter. Sometimes growth could even be the way we handle a difficult situation differently from the way we would have handled it last year. So growth can mean anything. It depends on your perspective. It depends on how you see growth. So we must learn, we must come to terms that by seeing growth like, okay, it's the step I make on a daily basis, the improvement on myself, you know, on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something extraordinary. It could be just those little steps, those little progress, those little effort, those little changes you can see in yourself. We must learn to celebrate our wins. So what are the tools? What are the things we can use to celebrate or to measure our progress? We must learn to keep our parenting journal. So you're listening to me, you're catching a replay. Do you have a journal where you record your thoughts? Do you have a journal where you record, you know, where you reflect and record how your process have been? You know, I posted on my Facebook page, I think yesterday, about the importance of journaling. Journaling is very important. I'll encourage us to get a journal. Write on your journal. You know, whatever works for you. If it's a book, if it's a journal on your computer, your phone, just journal your thoughts, because there is something it does. It helps us to be able to track our process. When you journal, you can compare, okay, I've moved from point A to point B. When you journal, you can connect with yourself. Journaling has a lot of benefits. So if we must measure our progress as parents, we must learn to keep our parenting journal. We must learn to keep journals for different aspects of our lives. Another way we can measure our progress as parents is to have accountability partners. Yes. Who are your accountability partners? So as a parent, it is said that we don't do life alone. I remember growing up, there is this saying that, okay, a community raises a child. Like, it's not just one person that raises a child. And it is true. We don't do life alone. We must learn to pair with partners that have the same values with us. We must learn to pair with other parents that share the same family values with us, that can help us to celebrate in our small wins, that can encourage us when we are making mistakes, or that can encourage us when we are going through challenging moments in our parenting. We can't do parenting alone. We can't do this journey alone. So you must look around you, the circle you have around you. Look at that family that share the same value with you. Look at that friend. Look at that person. Look at that community that share the same value with you, and go and have, work as a team, have this accountability system, so it can help you, it can help us to track our process, to help us to be focused, to be fixed on our goal. Another way we can measure our progress is to reflect. Monthly reflection practice. So how many of us pause to reflect? How many of us even reflect on a daily basis? You know, at the end of the day, before you go to bed, what do? Do you reflect? Do you reflect on how your day was? And when I'm talking about reflection, I'm not talking about mental reflection. Most of us reflect in our heads. You say, okay, I'm reflecting, I'm meditating in our head. No! According to my coach, you don't reflect in your head. You reflect on a journal. You reflect on paper. You reflect writing. So you record your thoughts. You record how your day was. You reflect on how your month was. That is one of the tools we can use to measure our progress. So as a parent, we should set aside time on a monthly basis, even on a daily basis, to reflect on these questions. Number one, what went well? What went well today? What went well this month? If you are reflecting for the month, what went well this month? We must reflect. We should also ask ourselves, what could improve? What can we improve today? What did I do today that I did not do well? What did I do today that I think I can improve? What are the things I did this month that I think I can work on or I can improve? We must ask ourselves these questions. And number three, what will I focus on next? Yes. So first of all, what went well today? Or what went well in your month? Or if you're reflecting for the year, what went well last year? What could improve? What can you work on? What can you improve on in your day, in your month, in your year? What can we improve on? And what will you focus on next? So first of all, we have to know what went well, what can we improve on, and where is our focus. And all these things we can achieve when we begin to reflect, when we begin to journal our thoughts. When we don't reflect, when we don't journal our thoughts, when we don't pause, when we don't sit with ourselves, it will be difficult for us to even have these conversations with ourselves. So I must add, you know, as parents, most of us run away from ourselves. Most of us don't want to sit down with ourselves. Most of us, we tell ourselves, oh, I'm a very busy parent. I'm a hardworking parent. You're hardworking, you're busy. That is very good. But do you sit down to have conversation with yourself, including me? Do we sit down to reflect? Do we sit down to talk to ourselves? It is very important for us to pause occasionally during our day. It is important for us to pause during our months, during the year, to pause and have conversations with ourselves, to reflect on our journeys, to reflect on our process, to reflect on what is working, to reflect on what is not working, to reflect on where we are going to next. So reflection is very, very key. Now, in summary or in conclusion, I want to invite all of us as parents. I invite you listening to me today to measure your progress, not with a critical eye, but with an eye full of gratitude. I invite you to measure your progress on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, you know, occasionally with an eye full of gratitude, not with an eye full of complaints, because most of us, we like to complain. We like to compare and complain. No, you know, as my coach said, she said, comparison is a killer of joy. So when we compare ourselves, when we complain, we kill the joy we are meant to have. So I invite you to measure your progress with gratitude. We must always remember that our parenting journeys are all unique. My journey is unique from yours. Your journey is unique from the journey of someone else. We must get to that point, to the point of understanding that, okay, my journey is unique to me. And every step forward we make is a testament to our love, to our strength and commitment. So as parents, let us keep growing together. Let us keep renewing ourselves together. Let us keep working on ourselves together. When we do that, we will be in a better position to measure our progress and to achieve our goals. So I invite you to measure your progress on a daily basis. I invite you to reflect on your process on a daily basis. I invite you to journal your thoughts. I invite you to have accountability partners to to walk this journey with you. I invite you to have communities to walk this journey of parenting, this journey of growth, this journey of renewal with you. I invite you to take your journey seriously and reparent yourself, renew yourself, focus on your growth. I invite you to this journey of growth, continuous growth. I invite us to work on ourselves continuously on a daily basis, because the truth is that we cannot give what we have. When we grow, our children will grow. When we transform to be better parents, our children will definitely see us and transform. So it's an invitation for us today as parents to take our journey seriously and to measure our progress on a daily basis. So tell me in the comment section. Okay, I can see measure your progress with gratitude. Yes, thank you, ma. Tell me in the comment section, what would you be doing differently? Even if you're catching a replay, you can drop a comment section. So thank you very much for listening to me today. I really do appreciate your time, and I do not take your time for granted. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Renewed Parents Academy, and please pre-order our book, or please purchase our book, or pre-order. Scratch that. Pre-order is done. Please purchase our book. I'm going to drop the Amazon link, Becoming a Renewed Parent, and start your journey from there. Just focus on your growth. Keep growing, and definitely you're going to see the benefit of growing as a parent. So thank you very much for listening to me. I can see Dr. Jane says, journaling my progress, measure my progress with gratitude. Thank you, ma. Thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate your time. I honor you. I celebrate you, ma. And I honor everyone that has come to this live stream with us. I honor everyone that will be catching a replay. I really do appreciate your time, and I do not take your time for granted. So till I come your way next time, do have a great day, and remember to renew your mind as a parent. Thank you and bye.